Parramatta will run left to right. They'll run towards the southern end of this ground. And Wallace marked the ball. Hammond, in his second year back, was Brisbane. He takes it to ground inside the 20-metre line. I won't say it's an eerie feeling, it's a wonderful feeling. Tonight we've got people like Wally Lewis and Darren Lockyer on the sideline watching this match. And I've got a funny feeling 17 years ago, it was Darren Lockyer debuting against Parramatta here at the stadium. I might be wrong, and he'll correct me if I indeed am. Parker was with the ball just inside the 40-metre line. Opening exchanges of Brisbane versus Parramatta. Brisbane ranked number 5. Oh, that kick has gone way over the top of Blair. That's Chase Blair, and he's able to recover and get back, and then he's searching for the dirt, or searching for the mud. Although I shouldn't say that, because these grounds are beautifully drained these days.
Yeah, what about the grass? It's tough on the groundsman, that one. What a wonderful kick from Peter Wallace. Plenty of depth, good direction. And Parramatta now right back on their heels in the opening moments.
So Keating is the 9. Hindmarsh working off the ball. Manor takes the play. And shrouding him, really, is Glenn. There's a heap of internationals in this Brisbane side. 9 of the squad have played Test football. And there's a mistake from Mitchell Allgood, who debuted in round 1 last year.
And on a night like tonight, these are the areas that you have to pay very close attention to. You want quick play of the balls, but you cannot lose technique. And Mitch Allgood, he got up, ball shot out. And now even more pressure on the Eels in the opening 2 minutes.
So Brisbane set it up for the first attacking raid of the night. And it's Hodges, very much the elder statesman of the three-quarter line, which is all international. The number 12 is Teo, and he'll play the ball 12 metres away from the Parramatta line. McCulloch goes away, a couple of paces sideways before turning it back for Hammond. Running play back towards the blind side. McCulloch comes away to first receiver Wallace. Now Norman comes into the play. He goes short to Glenn, who loses the ball. So Parramatta are off the hook just for a moment. Morgan it was who fell on the ball, and that is Seo going away as Parramatta get a penalty back on their own 20-metre line. So this will help the Blue and Gold Army after a little bit of a palpitation for them early on. Luke Burt playing at fullback. Jared Hayne, Ben Smith, and Willie Tonga unavailable for the Eels. As Petro, of course, is through suspension for Brisbane. Out to Sando and then to Manor. And Tim, whose brother is here with Parramatta this year, playing the ball on the halfway line. Keating goes out short. Allgood takes it ahead. And Hannard is there to bring him down with the help of McCulloch. And then Keating gives the ball on, and it goes away through Roberts, and he turns it inside for Horrow. And if that voice started to crackle a little bit, that's because of last night's absolute fantastic start to the season provided by Newcastle and the Dragons. Hindmarsh played that ball. Sando puts a little stabbing kick in towards the in goal. Oh, Beale's made a mistake. Parramatta scores. Sando has scored off his own kick. Well, it happens for these sort of players, doesn't it? Peter Sterling has often said, you make your own luck. And Jared Beale, an embarrassing loss of the football, and Sando scores.
Well, Parramatta fans will hope that that's a sign of the future. Deft little kick through. Tough conditions here to field the football, but Jared Beale, he made a mess of it. The chase was led by the kicker. Beale just couldn't get control, but it bounced the right way for the chasers, and simple task to get the first 4-pointer in blue and gold colours.
And off the Jared Beale mistake, they lead 4-0. Was Luke Burt the goal kicking in front of Sando? Yeah,
that must have been a tough decision for Steve Kearney. They both kicked in the 80% last year, but Sando was the leading point scorer after the 24 games. Well, Burt, he's justified the #1 spot.
There's an example of probably why he got the job. Well, Darren Lockyer, a shaky start for particularly Jared Beale.
Yes, as we see on the Keno replay here, the conditions aren't very good. We've already seen a few errors, and look, that's going to be the tactic all night when you get down to the try line. Just put a little kick along the ground and hope for something to bubble up like it did for Chris Sandow. Now, there's a lot of pressure on Sandow, but apparently Nathan Kaler's come out through the week and said that he's the best buy Parramatta's ever bought. So that's a big statement, but he's living up to it at this stage.
Well, he certainly is after about 5.5 minutes. Here's Chrissy Sandow, the celebration after the try. And Corey Parker places the ball for the restart. So there it is. Parramatta leading 6-0. The Sandow try converted by Burt. And this is all good that brings it back. Responsible for one of 3 mistakes made in the opening exchanges of the first 4 minutes of our game. That is Horro now.
Ray, the other thing that will do for Chris Sandow, who seems pretty laid back at the best of times anyway, is allow him to relax a little bit. He knows that he's under pressure and a lot of external expectation about him. You try and stay away from that. It's difficult to do, but with that under his belt now, he can just slot into his game and let the natural stuff flow.
Play by Luke Burt. Ben Roberts over from the Bulldogs, lobbing this ball judiciously down, and Hoffman good on the ground that time. Darren made the point, wet weather, it's a good place to be when you're attacking. Keep the ball on the ground, particularly the big men, they hate it. Played back now to Glenn, who's wearing the yellow boots, together with the yellow apparel, if I can call it that, of the Brisbane Broncos. Jack Reed it was with his first touch. Ball goes long out to Hodges. Hodges stepping inside and then clutching the ball, and he plays it back for Yao Yi, and a penalty goes against Parramatta.
You went 10 metres.
He's got the markers. I think he said something like, you're either a marker or you're back 10, take your pick. And he was aiming that at Essie Tonga.
Yeah, excellent play the ball there from Justin Hodges. Langer barked some instructions. Quick play the ball, and markers never square or never back on side. Caught in no man's land. Peter Wallace picks up some nice metres with not much room to work in.
Wait for the kick.
35 up from the Parramatta line. Play on the Michael Cronin stand side of the ground. You saw a picture of Alan Langer there. Some of us read the story. I know I did. I thought that Alan had not been reappointed to the Broncos unit, but that wasn't the case at all. I think the drama was over him not actually being elevated to head assistant coach, if I can put it that way. Here's Parramatta coming up with the football. That looks like Lasalo is with it. And he'll play it 25 metres out from his own line. Big second row. Where's number 12 from a distance? He looks like Sio, the winger, in number 2. This is all good, working hard. Play back to Keating. They go short to Manna. Brisbane's first tackler was Hannett. He went low. Penalty as it goes to Parramatta.
Give him space, get off.
Yeah, Ray, that's the second time now the Broncos have been on the attack and they've dropped the footy. It doesn't look as though they've brought their wet weather game with them. I don't know whether the conditions have surprised them, but it's been pretty obvious all day that we're going to have a slippery surface and a wet ball, and they've just tried to go about their normal football and come up with a couple of fumbles, and it's cost them.
So Sando asking Manna in quick succession to take another play. Just beyond the 30-metre line. So Parramatta with a chance to have a look down at the winning post end of the ground, you might say. All good plays the ball. Keating goes out to the right, picks up Sando, dummies short to Lasalo, goes long to Burt around the back, and Burt will play a 25 out from the line. He'll play it back to the number 2. This is Sio, and it's gone over high to Sando and then to Hindmarsh, and Hannett goes in. He locks up with McCulloch. And then down around the legs is Parker. They're right in the middle of the ground, as you can see. 20 metres out from the line. Parramatta 6. Brisbane no score. Lasalo again. And he will be made to play the ball. 15 metres out. On tackle, the last tackle. It's come from Keating. Sando again. He puts a kick in again. There's a chase on it. There's a chance for Luke Burt. Cleaned up by Hoffman.
10 metres, Luke.
It's a penalty, though.
10 metres.
He's called him for going inside the 10, Luke Burt. In front of the kicker, getting inside the 10, and he's penalised Luke Burt, who got involved. He wouldn't be termed as a passive player on that occasion.
I'll tell you what else I noticed. Pre-season trials don't mean a thing, do they? I mean, I saw Parramatta in a trial game 2 weeks ago, and they were at best ordinary. But tonight, full of energy, chasing the kicks, supporting each other, doing all the little things right. It's a totally different looking Parramatta side.
Hold. Stand up and play it.
So played by Jack Reed, and McCulloch turns it over towards the blindside runner, which was Parker. Corey, and now Ben Hannant, and a side-on tackle for Keating. Hindmarsh wraps him up for a little bit more time. Then McCulloch short away to Norman, and Corey Norman put down. As I said, he's only 20. He was playing Toyota Cup when he was 17. Now for Peter Wallace to go high and down into the corner. He's got Seo back pedaling, and he might have had a foot in the in-goal. Yes, he did. So it's out to the 20 for the restart.
He did really well. You think about the rain pelting down, slippery surface, and he actually backed up to get his feet in the in-goal. Mate had to stretch for it, but he knew exactly what he was doing. Seo. Kenny Seo.
That's the wing partner for him, Chase Blair, on the other side wing over on the eastern grandstand. And Justin Horrow taking quite a heavy tackle from Ben Teo on that occasion. Tim Mann has been strong in the opening exchanges. How many carries is that for him, Pete? It just seems like he's...
Yep, 6 hit-ups.
What about Allgood? They seemingly have done more work than the others in the hit-up department.
They have 6 and 7 respectively, and that's what you need from your front rows in these kind of conditions to set the platform for what follows.
Played by Hoffman then, and now for Reed. Of course, played those 4 test matches for Great Britain, or England, if you'd like, during the 4 Nations, and then to Wallace, and they go quickly away to Justin, and he's caught Chase Blair coming up and in, and Hodges will beat you every time. He plays the ball, though, and it's gone away now through Wallace, and it's put down over there by Ben Teo. And Parramatta gaining no advantage from that. But the referee saying to play on. I thought it would have come back for the knock-on, which would have been 10 metres further down the ground.
He might have come up quickly, Chase Blair, and missed the tackle, but he did a good job. If he'd have stayed back, they'd developed an overlap, the Broncos, as the third penalty for the Eels goes their way.
In that one there, mate, I'll call release, and you're still holding him there over the top with your legs. Just get back to him, please. Thanks.
Good thing for Chase Blair as he came up quickly was that he had confidence on the men on the inside to get Hodges if he was stepped.
Has referee Shane Hayne always had a moustache?
I don't think so,
Is
no.
this a new addition?
I was just going to say the same thing. I thought it was a moustache, but you call it a mustache. That's okay.
It's a tash.
I don't know what he's doing with that. I thought for a moment we might have been back in November, but I can't use that as an excuse.
I hope he's got one.
It might. So it's with Hindmarsh now. Poor old Shane. It's there for a reason, obviously. Here's Roberts going away with a little short pass. And I think it's Horrow with the ball for Parramatta. They're 12 metres away. They're looking dangerous. Hindmarsh for Sando. Weaving through the traffic. He plays it to Keating. Rather slow. Roberts rolls one down on the ground and is picked up there by